Now, a lot of people are into gimbals, and rightfully so. So for the last time I'm doing this again, I'm doing this over. The other one didn't look good at all. I was just all blurry, only in certain spots. But for the most part, this is the Neewer stabilizer. And all I really wanted to show you was just the camera. And the other one, the camera wasn't on here, but the camera's on here now. Actually, as you can see, this is what it looks like. What I was trying to explain in the other video, the other clip, is that I put this on wrong. I want to show you what I'm talking about. So look at this here. This plate is on incorrectly. All right, so can you see that? This is on incorrectly because this is supposed to kind of be not in the groove, not in it as it is here. It's supposed to be this out, halfway in, halfway out. But it's stuck in there because like a bonehead, I decided to treat this like a quick release. Like most common quick releases, you slip it in and you just slip it out. But when I realized I can't take it out, I realized I put it in wrong. So it is permanently stuck here. Now this may have some bearing to do with the balance for it on my camera, but it still works. I'm able to still put the screw in here and screw it and do all I need to do with it, but this is on wrong. So this is one of the things that I was saying in the other clip, which I got rid of, that this is on incorrectly. Don't do what I did. But anyway, I have more to explain, and I just wanted to clarify that part. This is the thing that you must get correct. If you don't, you will run into the issues that I have. You can't get it off. And balancing the camera on here, mounting the camera and twisting it and stuff like that could be a little bit cumbersome. So, but once you get that out of the way, your Neewer gimbal is good to go. So I'm gonna give you some more tips. I just wanted to clarify that part over. My gimbal, this is the Manfrotto M something of another, I forget. There's too many names to try to remember when it comes to these things. So there's this 1% rule you should always follow, and it's simple. If you can make your production a little bit more better, I know that's horrible English, but if you can make your production a little bit more better, or just better in general, do it. I was just too lazy to do it over because I'm trying to reach a deadline, and you know what? It was just bothering me. I couldn't even look at it anymore. Always, if you can, make your production better. So, as I was trying to say, there's a difference between this here. This is not mechanical or battery operated. This, however, is. Now, I'm just curious to see, when I say this doesn't hold a charge, I mean it doesn't hold a charge. I just plugged it up for a few seconds or a few minutes. Let's turn it on, and it's gonna do something really weird. Let's turn it on. You see that? All right. See? What is that? What is it? Why is it doing that? 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 Look at the battery. Yeah, look at the battery. It's saying that it's really, really low, and I had it plugged, and it's doing this weird shaking thing. You could hear it. It's really weird. So Manfrotto, please explain yourself. I don't know why that does that, and it's been doing that for the last couple of months, and let it sit for a little while. Try to use different cords to see maybe I'm using the wrong cord, or maybe I'm plugged into the wrong wall. I don't know. It just does that, and I don't like that. So, which brings me to why this is what we're talking about, because you won't have those problems with non-battery operated devices. You just have to put the work in to really get it to do what you need it to do. It won't do all the wonderful things that can do, or any gimbal could do. But if you want some smooth flowing shots and you have something like this may be worth your while. So, but anyway, I think I'm done with this segment because I do have some stuff that I did leave in the video where you get to see some more stuff. So I'm gonna go back to that. So sorry for the whole different 50 billion one changes. It really does matter that if you can make your production better by all means do it. It's just nothing more than a few minutes to me to do this part. I was lazy, I was in the middle of editing, and I just couldn't sit with it any longer. So anyway, back to the back to our regularly schedule. Back to what I was talking about. This whole thing is based off of weight. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. You got 4 of these weights. I'm not sure how much they weigh. It's not a whole lot. Big bad boys. You got 1 here and 1. Oops, let me get that clear. And 1 there, right? So you got 2 of these. This smaller head. Then you got this fatter head one. So I got it on. Took some finessing, took some minutes to do, but as you could see, the camera is on the mount part, and I had to actually push it more in the middle, not too much. I don't want to move it now because I got it where I wanted to get it. But you know what the hell? Unscrew this thing right here. Whoa, that you unscrew, moves it back and forth, as you can see. See? So, kind of could see where I have the screw. So it's kind of in here. This is where it goes in. If I had this off, I would be able to put it exactly where I want and then mount it on. But because I have this already connected to it, you know, I screwed that up. So it's now on here, and I pushed it as far in the middle without having this come off and not putting it too tight to now sit somewhere in the middle, and then we play with the balance. Now, again, this tightens it here, so you can move it up and down, or move it back and forth. And then this here locks it. So if I was to move this forward, it'd even be locked more. So now it can't go back because, you know, that's blocking. We don't want that. So we find a good balance. I say right there. Oops, I say right about there. And it's as solid as it could be. This is what it looks like standing up. The base, the bottom. It's still not balanced. And one of the things you have to do to test it out is to hold it and swing it. But right now, this is doing way too much. So this is gonna be a while before I actually balance it, but we'll show you how to do that. And if you need more weights or more length, I don't think we need more length. So we're gonna push it down. I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I'll do that test part later, but the test is to sway it. And once it sways and it meets in the balance, you're pretty good. Another thing I've seen people do is put these on, there's a hole right there. You can see that. There's a hole right there, and you could put that like on some kind of C-stand or some kind of pole or something. I had a stand. Let me try it and see if it works. I haven't done it in a while, but this part is the part that's gonna take some finessing. You have to play with it as much as you can so you get the proper balance that you want with this stabilizer. Now, this is the only thing that's a bit of a stretch or a bit of a killjoy, is calibrating this manually. It's not the same as if you had a gimbal, where the gimbal actually does it on its own and you get to go. This, not so. So we're gonna balance this and see what we can get as far as stabilization, and then see how it works with this camera. You never know what happens. This is what it looks like on here, with some kind of light stand, C-stand, something to hold it so you don't have to keep balancing it, picking it up, putting it down. That's too much to do. So right now, we're gonna try and balance it. As you can see, it's leaning forward. I didn't lock it as yet, but we wanna balance the camera a little bit. So, kind of like that. That's looking a little better. These micro tweaks are gonna take a while. So there was something I forgot to tell you. There's something about this part here. If you look on this side, let's see what's the best way to do this. You could slide this, turn this, and you could slide it forward or whatever, left, right, left, right. So there's extra balance in here. Going left to right, let's do this again. Left to right or whichever way, and then forward and back. And that's also part of your balance. So it's not just forward and back, it's left and right as well. So you have to really do, again, a lot of playing around with it. So you're gonna turn it a little, So I'm getting closer. The sway is slower. Still not slow enough, but closer. So I'm pretty close to actually getting this thing the way that I want. So let's just look at it like that. It looks decent. There's something to take into consideration, and that's this stand. It kind of leans, it makes this lean forward. This should be solidly in all the way. I don't think it goes all the way down. No, see this little bit of room left right around there. Even taking this off won't matter. Let's see. No, not much of a difference. So got some more figuring out to do, but for the most part, it is in here. And if I just leave it, it does look like it holds it pretty, it does look even. To me, it does. You know, this is straight here. The only issue is I still have this. See, it's moving slower. See, not quite. Still wanted to do a little slower. So now that might mean I may need to put more weights on it. Because even though this is a light camera, it's a small camera. Let's wait till it stops. It still looks like it's leaning a little bit this way. That's because it is. So more tweaking, and we'll put some more weights on here. And then we'll see what happens. Oh no, that looks horrible. It's leaning a little bit this way. If I were to turn it that way, as you could see, it's leaning a little bit this way, and I think I might want to put some more weights on it. So let's do this part first. Let's undo this, and let's push it. Right, it looks like it's evening out somewhat. I'm gonna lock it here. Oops. Yeah, holding it still. I want it to stay still. All right, so that looks pretty decent to me. And I feel like I need more light in here. I hate having the setup light. I hate it. I got the desk light over there, but the sun is gone, so now I'm forced to get lights. Blah. If you're like me and your gimbal decides to just go dead, then what do? Hey, I'm going to use this one for the meantime until Manfrotto reaches word back to me and how I could get my gimbal fixed. Shame on you, Manfrotto. This is really going to do the job for now. If you are intending to use something like this and you have this in your closet, or you want to get something like this, by all means, please, before you actually bring it on set, calibrate it, set it up, all that good stuff, hours or a day before you actually show up to your actual set, because you don't want to actually really be pulling this thing out, trying to figure it out and recalibrate it every 2 seconds, or whatever the case is. It does take some time to put together, so I implore you to definitely work on that before you actually go on set. And after a while, once you get used to it, you'll become a professional and you'll probably be able to fly through this thing pretty quickly. It took me some time to actually get used to because I hadn't used it in a while. I was sitting in a closet for some time. And actually, once I get the hang of it again, I'll be able to play with it a little bit more because once I switched to the gimbal, I forgot all about this and I didn't even have any need to go reaching for it. But now I do. And I'm not sure how much it costs now. I'm sure it's more than what it cost when it was purchased. However, it's still one of the more cheaper versions of a gimbal that you can get your hands on right now. So it's just no batteries. So the only thing that requires is your patience and your skill set, so to speak, that you're gonna build that up to actually learn how to calibrate and maneuver. Once you get the whole balance part, the whole walking with it and everything like that, that's another thing altogether. So, but once you get that whole thing down, your movements will be smooth. Now, when I intend to use it, I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna more than likely probably use this with some slow-mo shots. So that way they're smooth. I don't wanna have to rely on it as a gimbal with bad movements. So, but this is not bad. I do have another one. There's this one. I forgot who made this one and I forgot when I got this as well. But this is good for DSLRs and mirrorless cameras and such. Maybe even a phone. It might be too light for a phone, but this is way smaller, way more compact and a lot easier. It applies the same way as the Neewer stabilizer. I'd have to play with it. I've never played with this one. It was just given and I just put it with the other and put it in the bag and put it in the closet. But this does the same thing. And again, not a whole lot of money. But once you get it figured out and you actually connect it to your camera and everything like that, you're pretty much good to go. So I'm gonna play with this one a little later. I'm not gonna wrap this one right away. I'm really geared to learning how this one works. This one sort of works similarly to a Steadicam that you attach to your body. Because it's got the whole length, you can spin it around like they do in the movies when they're making them. But it doesn't have the whole body part with it, but it works similarly to that. And I like it. So as you can see, I got my two weights here. I didn't need to put a whole lot of weights on it. It's just pretty good, not the worst. I did goof up, like I told you, with putting on the base plate incorrectly. So I believe that may have some bearing to do with how well balanced it is. And it doesn't always necessarily lock in place the way I like. I mean, now it looks like it's fine. Earlier it was sliding up and down, I don't know. But either way, this is not bad. Get you one if you guys want something a little less money. With the way things are going on right now, a lot of things cost money and we're trying to find ways to create without having to break our bank. And this is not a bad option. Again, more mechanics of things you have to learn, but once you get your hands on that, this is not a bad purchase. And you might actually prefer it than dealing with systems where the battery decides it doesn't want to work anymore. So we won't even mention who they are. Hit the like and subscribe, all that good stuff. Come back again. I got more stuff for you. And I think my job is done here. I wonder if I did that, could I make it go close? Okay, let's do that again.